welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time since I've done a video like this, yet alone a video at all. So hope you guys have been doing well. So today's video, we are actually going to be doing a first impressions / wear test review of the newest collaboration between Tarte Cosmetics and Pretty Basic. So for those of you who don't know, Pretty Basic is a podcast run by two YouTubers, influencers, whatever term you want to use, Alicia and Remy. They happen to be best friends these days. They decided to do a podcast. They both have their own online empires, I would call them. To this day, it is still one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Seeing how much they have opened up and grown over the past couple of years doing it, it has been really interesting to me. And I've always watched Alicia and Remy for a very, very long time, like since like the saturation. Like if you know, you know. And yeah, I'm actually the same age as Alicia, so I feel like I relate to her on a lot of things. So yeah, as soon as I saw this become available and I saw what the shades look like, I was like, perfect, add to cart, we are ordering right now. The box came packaged in a typical mailing Tarte box, the one that has the flap that folds down and is taped. Inside it was filled with a couple of pieces of Tarte tissue paper. The palette was just wrapped in the tissue paper. So that's how it shipped to me. So for this set in total, including shipping and taxes to Newfoundland, Canada, this cost me $67.90. I think that's a decent price for a palette plus mascara and a mini lip oil. I think that's actually pretty good, especially for Tarte's prices. It seems pretty on par. It came in this box, nice and minimal, not too much excessive packaging, and it's just a cardboard that I can recycle, which we love. Here is the palette itself. It is fairly small and compact. I feel like if you're traveling by vehicle, you could definitely travel with it. I don't know if I would travel with this on an airplane, especially if you're putting it in checked luggage. Not that everyone is traveling these days, but I figured it's worth mentioning. As you can see, I've already filmed putting on the actual eyeshadow. When you open it up, you get a plastic film protector on top to protect the mirror, I guess. It is a really nice, decent sized mirror. Even if I'm putting it this close, I can still see from my chin to my eyebrows. So I do really like the size of the mirror. Overall, I was not the most impressed with the presentation of the manufacturing itself. I do need to point out before I talk about that though, I accidentally scraped Chloe with my fingernail when I was putting the plastic film back on to bring it out here in my kitchen to film. This is the only room right now that I have natural light. That's what we're working with. But Chloe, there is a nail scratch and you're gonna see that in the close-ups. It did not come like that. That was all me. So some of them, like there's a bit of imperfections in the pressing into the pans, that kind of thing. Because the plastic that the eyeshadows and highlighter bronzer are in is very like glossy and plasticky. Like it doesn't feel super cheap, but it looks messy as soon as I touch any of the shadows. I also wanted to do a size comparison for you guys. Rather than measure it, I'm going to show it against a Urban Decay Naked palette. This is my Naked 2, so I'm just going to put it behind here so you can see the size comparison. So as you can see, it is taller and shorter than a Naked 2 palette. That's how big it is. I figured this would be one of the easiest palettes to compare it to in terms of size because the majority of people either own one of these or they've definitely seen them in person. So you get 6 eyeshadows and a highlighter and a bronzer / contour depending on your skin tone. I think a lot of people who are darker skinned may argue that this shade isn't gonna work for them as a bronzer or a contour. For me, after swatching it, I feel like it could be more of a bronzer than a contour for me personally. I'm still gonna try it though tomorrow with a full face because tomorrow I'm just gonna be sitting at my desk most of the day. So I figured that would be a good time to try Pretty and Basic. So I'm not gonna wear those today because I'm, as I say later on in the video, I'm actually going to get groceries. So I'm gonna be wearing a mask for at least 2 hours because I need to go to Costco and to the regular grocery store. We did a very simple face makeup today and mostly the eyes. The shade names are all very relevant to their brand and their podcast and their lives on YouTube outside of the podcast as well. So we have Daisy, Perf as in perfect, which I say a lot, Content Baby Content, Boy Drama, which refers to Remy's dating life before she got into a relationship, and Ring Ring, which is a part of their intro. It's like a retro telephone ring, and they pick it up and you hear one of them say Pretty Basic. So Ring Ring and Chloe, the lightest shade and the darkest shade represent their little dogs. Chloe and Daisy. Daisy's lighter, Chloe has more black in her fur, so makes sense, it's relevant. And then of course, our highlighter and bronzer are called Pretty and Basic. Okay, so let's quickly talk about the actual shades and go through the swatches. So Daisy, our far upper left shadow. This is a great brow shadow in my opinion. It applied really well and it really just gave me the right amount of brightness. There's no sheen to it. I had to swatch it twice on my arm because I am super pale. It swatches really well though, it's well pigmented, it's blendable. It picked up on the brush easily. This one had the least amount of fallout. Perf is a really nice blending shade and a base crease shade. I found it really easy. It was a perfect match for me too, in terms of the shade. It didn't look too warm, it didn't look too gray. It was perfect. So I really like that shade. Also quite blendable, well pigmented, not too much fallout. A little bit will pick up in the pan itself when you're going in with a brush, but nothing crazy. It doesn't go all over the palette or anything. Content Baby Content is a great, if you want a darker lid shimmery color, or if you just want to put it on the outer edge to blend in with a lighter shimmery color like I did today. Of the two more satin, I would call them satin shades, they're not like glittery. This one had more fallout, but it is the darker of the two. And then the lighter of the two is called Boy Drama. I honestly think this is my personal favorite shade. I'm wearing it on the center of my lid with Fix Plus, so it made it a little bit more vivid and bright, but I really do like this and it swatches very well on its own without Fix Plus. So it's a kind of grayer, silver reflective taupe shade. Content Baby Content has, I don't know if it's a silver reflect in it, it's more of a brown reflect. So that one is a bit more of a darker taupe. Boy Drama has a bit more of a silver vibe to it, but on the eyes, it doesn't look like 2002 silver. Ring Ring is basically a darker version of Perf with a little bit more gray in it. If you are a darker skin tone, this would probably be a better blending shade for you, slash base crease shade than this one, but I do really like both. If you have really light blonde hair, you could probably use this shade as a brow shade, in my opinion. And then the last eyeshadow we have here is Chloe. Chloe is a very dark, beautiful espresso kind of brown, and this one had the most fallout. It scratched really easily from my nail, but it's very pigmented. It's a very flattering brown shade. It almost looks blackish, like it's great for smoky eye. So if you are doing a darker, more nighttime formal look, I would personally use more of this one than I did today, but it is really nice. I do really like it. I'm glad it's included in the palette. Then we have Pretty and Basic. I haven't worn these yet on my face. I am wearing Pretty in my inner corner, which you'll see in the application part of this video. And it is very, very pretty with Fix Plus in the inner corner, just saying. And in the swatch, it also looks super stunning. In the pan, it looks more yellow and gold-ish than when it swatches. And when it's applied to the skin, it just looks not as yellow. And then last but not least, we have Basic, which I think the shade is a bit more of a bronzer for me than a contour. But when I film what it looks like tomorrow, I guess we'll find out if I can pull it off as a contour, just because it's not as gray toned. So we'll definitely do that comparison then. But in terms of the quality, the swatch on this one was probably the worst of all the products in this palette. It didn't have the most even, consistent swatch as the rest. So we'll see how that goes. Now also with the palette, you get a mini mascara. They're Lights Camera Lashes mascara. I have used it in the past, so I knew it was a good mascara before I even opened it. And then the lip oil, this I've not tried because I'm generally not a glossy lip kind of person, but I'm willing to try it for the sake of the review. It smells amazing. It smells like candy, like cherry candy or something. I don't know. It smells so good. But I think, what's the official name of this lip oil again? This is the Pretty Basic Lip Sip Vegan Lip Oil. So I'm hoping that it means that it gives some nourishment to my lips. I've heard that it's not too sticky, but overall, I'm most excited about the flavor of it. I'm not gonna lie, apparently it does go on clear, which makes sense. I mean, looking at it in the natural light, it doesn't have a lot of pigment to it, which is totally fine with me. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the application, and then I'm gonna go about my day. I'm gonna take you guys along with me and we'll see how it wears throughout the day. Today's makeup look, because I am going out and I'm gonna be wearing a mask for at least 2 hours. I need to get groceries really bad. Look is mostly gonna be the eyes. I'm not gonna do a ton of face makeup because I don't wanna have to deal with scrubbing that off my face mask later. I'm gonna try and use all 6 shades. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm just gonna do some MAC powder foundation on at the end. I have seen in other videos that there is a bit of fallout, so I'm gonna do my face makeup last because anytime I use eyeshadows with a bit of fallout, they do tend to fall out on my actual face too. All right, so I'm going to start with the crease, and I'm going to use my handy dandy Still Essentials brush from Walmart. I don't know if I can even get this anymore, to be honest. I'm sorry guys. It's just a shorter, very dense brush like this. I'm going to first start with the shade Perf. As soon as I dunked my brush into it, you can kind of see that there's a bit. It's not extreme, it's not crazy. Like, it definitely feels like a more powdery texture. Okay, tap off the excess. I'm using my viewfinder as my mirror today because this is the best way I can get close to the camera so you can actually see what it's looking like. Okay, definitely shows up. Good pigmentation. I really like the shade. I think it goes well with my skin. Also, please give this video a thumbs up if you are really struggling with your skin right now, because I sure am. I just feel like with all the school stress and the pandemic stress and the mask knee, my skin is just freaking out. And yesterday I did order a new face wash and moisturizer off Amazon. I decided to bite the bullet and order in some back-ordered CeraVe. Amanda has told me great things about the salicylic acid lotion. She really likes it. So I decided to go ahead and order both. I was originally only going to get the cleanser. That's the one I've seen online, getting a lot of, mostly on TikTok, but you know, yeah, so far I really like that shade. So that was the shade Perf, which is in the middle top row right here. Next, I want to put, I cannot wait to use Boy Drama. That is such a Liz Anderson middle lid shade for me. Like, that is iconic for me. I'm gonna go ahead and do my brow bone there now, actually. So I'm gonna try Daisy. Daisy May recently became a big sister. Oh, that's really pretty. I like that. It's just enough that it kind of brightens up my brow bone. Not shimmery. Shimmery used to be my brow bone vibe, if you want to call it that, but not anymore. Yeah, I really like that. At least what I can see. Keep in mind, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm not picking up on every single detail. Again, that one did have about the same amount of fallout when I put my brush into it. Next, I want to do the outer corner. I'm going to use my newer 239S from MAC. It's a more rounded version of that shader brush. And I'm going to put, I think we'll start with Ring Ring, and we'll maybe darken it up a bit with Content Baby Content. So as you can see, I'm not putting a lot of force on it. The darker shades definitely have more fallout, which is quite common. The color looks pretty accurate to what it is in the pan. Sometimes in my outer corner, I gotta like pull my lid back a bit. I know this is technically causing wrinkles, okay, Karen? Whatever. Okay, now we're gonna go into Content Baby Content, which is a more satin shade compared to Ring Ring. And I'm basically gonna kind of go over the same area, just slightly more towards the middle. I definitely like the amount of shimmer we're getting from that shade. It's not too much, but it's enough that it really just kind of brightens up your eye area and it draws the eye to your lid. I'm gonna go in with my MAC 221S. It's just like a finer, fluffy dome brush. Perfect for in the crease, actually. I'm gonna use Ring Ring again in my crease to darken it up, because right now we only have Perf there. I'm actually quite pleased with the shades they chose for this palette. Like, they seem very easy to work with. They can create a variety of different neutral eye looks with this, both daytime and nighttime. What are we gonna do with Chloe? Let's maybe put her in the very outer corner and bring her down around the under lash line corner a bit. She is a very dark shade. I'm expecting the most fallout from Chloe. Because there's other shadows there, it's kind of hard to see how much of this shade is actually being packed on. Oh, there we go. Now you can really see it. I guess I didn't have enough on my brush. Yeah, I like that. I actually didn't get a ton of fallout from Chloe that time, but I'm only using a super tiny brush. So if you're diving into it with a thicker, more fluffy blending brush, you're probably gonna get more fallout. Change my mind on the lower lash color. I think I'm gonna do Ring Ring instead. I think what I want to do first is put a bit of Daisy on the very inner corner and then do Boy Drama right over the center of the lid. I'm just gonna go bam, you know? So my blending brush, if you're curious, is the MAC 217. Yes, I have a lot of MAC brushes, but they last a long time and I take care of them, so. Hello, my old friend. Haven't used you in a while. Hopefully this doesn't look too orange in my inner corner. It looked fine on my brow. Wow. The sound of nostalgia. Not really doing much. Let's try the highlighter. Screw it. Oh, ooh, ooh. Oh my god. Damn. The highlighter is very impressive so far. I don't have it on my actual cheekbones, but yeah, so that is the shade Pretty, the highlighter on my inner corner right now. Now for the shade I'm most excited for, Boy Drama. I'm actually gonna leave you zoomed in for a second. That kind of works. Ooh. I like, blend that with the inner corner a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely a very nice sheen. It's nothing too chunky in terms of glitter. It's really, really nice. I like that. So in terms of eyeshadow application, it went really well in my opinion. I haven't worn significant eyeshadow in a long time and I didn't struggle to put it on at all. So in terms of that, I do think it's very easy to apply even if you're a beginner with makeup. Really like the shades. They're very me. I love cool tone neutrals. That's like my go-to. So that's why as soon as I saw what shades were in this palette, I was like, yep, buying it. No questions. Didn't even think twice. Okay. So I'm just gonna quickly clean up the outer corner and then I'm gonna apply, oops, dropping Bioderma on the floor. I'm gonna apply the rest of my makeup and I'll come back. Okay, so I did just clean up under my eye, like completely under my eye with Bioderma, and I did one swipe with this side of the Q-tip, so I just wanted to show that there definitely is a bit of fallout on my face that I didn't notice before. Okay, so while my setting spray is drying in there, I wanna quickly mention the mascara, the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes Mascara in this beautiful bright yellow packaging. I'm pretty sure I've used this mascara before, but the brush definitely seems a little bit different to me. Maybe it's just the minis that look like this, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, let's put some on and hope for the best. That looks beautiful. I love that. Oh my god, my nose looks so red. I'll go with that. I don't normally put mascara on my lower lashes. Now, the lip oil. So yeah, for now, this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and close my eyes so you can see what the eyeshadow looks like. I don't have any false eyelashes on. These are my natural eyelashes. So that's what it looks like. I'm super impressed. I really, really like it. And I feel like a functioning normal human being because I have actual makeup on. What the heck? I should do this more often. I really love that middle shade Boy Drama, and it actually blends really well with Pretty, the highlighter. Like the colors actually still go pretty well together even though the highlighter is slightly warmer. Hey guys, coming to you from my car. It is almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:51 p.m. I finished putting on the eye makeup probably around 12:50. So it's definitely been 2 hours. So I wanted to give an update because I am seeing that the eyeshadow is creasing a little bit on me. This side doesn't seem as dark or vivid, like in terms of the Boy Drama shade, but I don't know if it was like that the whole time. I did not touch my eyes. I did not touch them once, and I just finished at Costco. So yeah, that's the update. I think it might be creasing a little bit. Other than that, there's no irritation or itchiness or anything like that. So I'm gonna head on to the next store. Hey guys, what is up? It has been a couple of hours. It's closer to 6 o'clock there now, and I wanted to go ahead and do a check-in regarding the eyeshadow. So if we zoom in, everything still looks pretty well blended. It did seem like there was a bit of creasing earlier just from like oils in my eyelids, I guess. But now it kind of seems like they've blended in a bit. Yeah, you can still kind of see the lines there. So there is some minor creasing, but nothing crazy. I mean, I can still see where I put all of the shadows and everything, and I still overall like the way like the eyeshadow look is looking. Again, I'm not sure if this lid just didn't get as much pigmentation as the other lid. See how that one is so much like more vibrant than this one? That's the thing, I haven't really touched my eyelids with the eyeshadow on, so I can't really say for sure if it was just the way I applied it or if it wore off on one eye. Overall, a great result in my opinion. Is it the best palette I've ever used ever? No, I don't think so. But I'm still quite happy with it and I still want to use it and try it out. That's where I'm gonna leave it for tonight, and then tomorrow I'm gonna put it on again and I'm gonna test out the highlighter and bronzer. And yeah, tomorrow we will test it in a more like sitting down, just doing schoolwork kind of setting instead of out running around in the cold. So we'll see how that goes. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, it is the next day. I have the eyeshadow on again, a very similar look to yesterday, but it is a little bit different. I don't have the highlighter on in my inner corner. I just did the eyeshadows today, all 6. So very similar. I made sure to make boy drama a little bit more even on this eye because I noticed yesterday once I got out into the full natural daylight that it wasn't even at all. So let's see if it creases today. Today I'm just staying home at my desk. I'm just doing some schoolwork and I'll be editing this video as well. I have the rest of my makeup done. Everything that's on my face and the skincare I used this morning will be listed down in the description. But I wanted to come on camera to apply Pretty and Basic, which are the highlighter and bronzer slash contour. I'm assuming it's just a bronzer. So I'm not sure if it's gonna work as a contour. I am gonna put it on as a contour as well today, just so you can see what it looks like on my skin tone as a contour. It may work, it may not, but nobody's gonna see me today, it doesn't really matter. So, so we're gonna start with Basic. How much fallout we get? Oh yeah, a lot of powder there on the top when you lightly dip your brush in. The brush I am using that I always use for contour is the MAC 168. It's an angled, fluffy white contour brush. You know, I can definitely see it there without my glasses on, so that's a good sign. I'm not sure if the shade is working in terms of being a contour shade for me, but it still seems a little warm. I think it will be good for a bronzer though, which I'm pretty sure it's for anyway, but that's usually how I apply contour. I like to blend it down into that corner. I just think that looks the most natural on me. I really can't tell without my glasses. I mean, it's pretty warm for a contour for me, not gonna lie. Okay, I can definitely see it on camera now. Like, it's really dark. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking it's more of a bronzer shade for me. I forgot my bronzer brush. Okay, hang on. All right, so I just started blending out with the bronzer brush. If you saw my What I Got for Christmas video, you'll recognize this brush. This is the Sephora 50 powder brush, and I found it's really good for bronzer. It's like a little bit bigger than the pan, but we'll work with it. I'm going a little bit heavier on purpose because I want to really see the color. And seeing it wear throughout the day, it's going to be a lot easier if I have a lot on. So, I mean, I think it looks good. Definitely blends into up here really well, but I don't know if that's because it's such a fluffier brush. It's not super dense. Throw a little bit down my neck too. I do really like the color as a bronzer. Not too much shine. I feel like if I did, for some reason, by some miracle, got really dark this summer, it might be a bit too light. For my normal skin color throughout the year, that shade would work perfectly fine. And it's nice and matte. And even though it didn't swatch like consistently when I did the swatch, I do feel like it applies better on a brush, which is the main thing anyway, because that's how you wear it. So yeah. Okay, moving on to Pretty, the highlighter, which we tried in the inner corner yesterday, and it was really nice. Again, with the highlighter, we're gonna go a little heavier so we can A, see the color better, and it'll be a bit more easier to check on the progress throughout the day. I don't know, oh yeah, it's kind of showing up there now. Very nice, pretty, like natural. Actually, no, I wouldn't say it's a natural glow. Like a more everyday highlighter, I would say. Okay, yeah, so it definitely doesn't apply, on me at least, the same color that it is in the pan. On camera, it's showing up a little bit less gold looking. In real life, it looks more gold. Let's keep applying, because why not? Highlighter's fun. But yeah, in real life, the pan definitely looks like a different color than it shows up on my actual skin. Now, the only other product that I haven't applied yet in this video is the lip oil, which smells like cherry candy in my opinion. I don't have anything on my lips right now. I did put the fresh coconut lip balm on my lips last night before I went to bed. So in the past couple hours that has died down. Usually when I wake up in the morning, I can still feel a little bit of it, but now my lips are dry, I can't feel it at all, so. All right, so the lip oil definitely goes on a bit more clear in my opinion. Definitely has a nice shine to it if that's something you're into. I don't know how it's gonna perform on top of a lipstick. I didn't think to put a lipstick underneath, but the texture is actually really good. I'm really impressed. I'm not normally much of a lip gloss person. Not stinging, no plumping effect or anything. It's just a lip oil. So we'll see if it actually like keeps my lips from feeling dry throughout the day. I'll let you know if I reapply it. And in terms of eating and drinking, we'll find out. I may have to remove the top layer, depending. We'll see. Okay, so that is the finished look. All right guys, so it is 12:01, it's midday, and I will be doing check-ins throughout the day and we'll see how this wears. Hey guys, it is now 2:37, so I've had it on for about 2.5 hours, so I want to do a check-in. I did wipe off the lip oil, or at least the top coat of it, when I went to eat my lunch, just because it felt a little too sticky for food. So I did that. The underlayer did stay on and it was still quite comfortable, and with that it was fine. My lips, they don't feel particularly moisturized at the moment, but they do feel smooth. They're not like rough, or like it didn't make my lips any worse. So overall, I do think it's a good lip oil. It's just, I'm not much of a gloss type of person, so me keeping it on for a long period of time just isn't realistic. So now I want to have a look at the rest of it. I did put on my giant blanket hoodie. This is called the Comfy. I will link it down below. It's from Amazon. It is so comfortable. So I don't know if some of the bronzer or highlighter came off, but that's what it's looking like right now. I can definitely still see bronzer down on the side of my cheeks, and I can still see where I applied it to the top of my head. It seems like I didn't blend it very well. Either that or it's looking strange. But overall, I still really like the color. I can still see it. So it's not like gone into my skin, and you can see the highlighter is still there too. Let's have a look at the eyes. One thing I did notice today is that the sparkly shades really do accentuate like every little crevice and like every little detail in my eyelids, which I don't think a lot of other eyeshadows do. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe I just don't notice it, but again, it has been a while since I've worn makeup like this on a daily basis, so maybe I'm just not used to it, or maybe my eyelids just need eye cream now or something. Like, I don't know. I don't think that's a thing, but you get the idea. There are other factors that could be involved there. Maybe it's just me. But I find if I look up close at my eyelids, like my eyelids just look more wrinkly. Like they almost, maybe my skin is just aging and I'm just only noticing it now. But other than that, all the colors are perfectly intact. I can still see where I put everything. And in terms of that, it's still looking great. So no complaints there. So yeah, that is my 2:30 p.m. update. Hey guys, it is now 7:59 in the evening, which is why we're using the artificial bedroom light to give the final check-in for the pretty basic first impression. Here's what my face looks like. We can still see the bronzer down on the sides a bit. I'm not sure if I can see the highlighter anymore, to be quite honest with you. I can see a little bit right here. I'm not sure. There's still a little bit of sheen there, but it's definitely not as vivid as it used to be. That's quite common for my face anyway, so that doesn't really bother me too much. The eyeshadow is kind of around the same level as yesterday. If I close my eyes here, you can see that some of the Boy Drama shade has worn off again, and I'm pretty sure I'm still getting that kind of wrinkly effect that I mentioned earlier this morning. I think I'm seeing some creasing as well. Yeah, mostly around my actual crease, but there definitely is some lines in that, but from a distance it looks totally fine. But I haven't experienced that with an eyeshadow in a long time. I don't know if it's just Boy Drama that does it to me, or if it's all of them combined. I'm not really sure. I do understand that it could be my eye primer too. Maybe it's just not as good for my lids as it once was, but it's nowhere near expiry. It's only about halfway through its shelf life at the moment, so that definitely could be a thing, so I figured I would mention it. But yeah, overall, here are my thoughts. Really like it for the most part. There are certain cons that I have discovered over the past 2 days. However, overall, I think it is a good palette to try, especially if you're newer to higher end brands and you want to try something from Tarte, or if you simply want to purchase this to support Remy and Alicia. I think it's still worth the money, especially where you get the mini mascara and lip oil with it. I think it's good value for like all 3 products, if that makes sense. I do really like the highlighter in it. I love the way the shades are paired in terms of what colors were put in the palette. I do like the bronzer. I think it is kind of worn off on my skin, but I have probably been touching my face a little bit too, so I mean that could be a thing. But it did apply a lot better than I expected it to. It was easy to use, which I think is good, especially if I want to recommend, yes, I'm leaning against my closet, especially if I want to recommend it for somebody who may be newer to makeup. Overall, I do really like it, but there definitely are some cons to it. So yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Please give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful, if you enjoyed watching. If you have any other requests for new products coming out soon that you want me to try, let me know. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back sooner rather than later with another video. Bye!